and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to another Ascension update with me here on the return of the white light. As you know, white light is all around us because it created everything. It is who we truly are, as the infinite source of divine love. And the white light, a lot of people talk about in terms of our unique ascension, as in return of the light body, or the light body merge, or light body ascension, and all these names you might be hearing, they're all talking about basically the same thing. And me, as one of the servants to the white light of creation and unity consciousness, and being embodied on this white ray for ascension in terms of our physical ascension and what it really means, I am in a way one of the representatives that can talk about these things, because as you serve the white light serves you. That's the thing. So I have a lot of people now who are also waking up and being activated and being upgraded into this new, what some people have been talking about as in being, recently someone said this to me, that they've almost had a vision of being catapulted into a new jumpsuit, being fitted into a new suit. And a lot of people are experiencing this way because it is the integration of that higher version of us who we truly are, because our ascension is taking us many different layers of our initiations. And once we are initiated into the white light is basically here to serve us. But we need to serve the white light. It's a mutual reception process. So in this video, I want to talk about the deepening of what this is, how we can more deeply activate this DNA light body merge, because it's not something that someone can tell you, oh, it's a technique you need to buy from this ascension guide, or someone has the answer for you, someone has the right healing method so that you can actually benefit from your light body upgrades. This is not the truth. As well as people who talk about DNA being changed, it's not being changed, it's being opened up to the greater levels. It's not like you were once distorted and now you're becoming something totally different. You were the template of something which is now expanding into the more dynamic, more multiversal, more multidimensional version, more truthfulness of who you truly are. As you step more into your white light, you're actually going to be able to transduce more of that white light, so you're going to be able to serve more in terms of unity consciousness. So a lot of people are asking me as well, how do I let this process unfold within me more naturally? What else am I supposed to do? Because a lot of people are reporting to me that they're having almost like these instant healing sessions within themselves, or they're having instant Kundalini awakening. A lot of people write to me about this, and I discussed this three-folded ascension process in my mastery course, Self-Empowerment and Ascension, because it's an actual physical process that is just a fact of how ascension is. The physical, chemical mechanics to it, because we're magnetic beings, but we're also, as we come into this physicality where magnetism and electricity merge, we become pure chemistry as well in terms of our physicality. And although physicality is something that we created for the actual physical experience of getting to know through what we were not, getting to also know who we are, and becoming once more within this great divine plan awakened to our true nature, so that we can, at this level, and our third fold process, where we it's a multiversal nature of this ascension, but it's also from the micro to the macro. So if you can imagine what's happening within you is also on a greater level. We're going through this third wave of ascension, basically, as this overlighting experience. So the first part of ascension is this, what people sometimes call the Kundalini awakening, when this life force, the seed of it that's planted and always was planted within you, waiting almost like the plant that waits for that perfect right moment that it's going to start the blossoming, the ripening process. So it starts to move and coil up like the coiling serpents that were a lot of times discussed in ancient scriptures and many books. And they were referenced as such. So this white fire light starts to emerge, and it has to go through every single chakra of your system. What's happening with the white light upgrade, I'm going to tell you, it has to change your overall experience of how you perceive yourself. I'm going to mention this to you, something that's really important, but let me finish this first, this three-folded process. So the coiling serpents, this white light fire, the seed of it starts to emerge within you. It goes up and up and up. And as it starts to ascend, it has to go through every layer of every belief, every separation, everything you've had. You have an epiphany, an awakening on that level. Everything that was still held separate, every belief you've ever had about yourself, it starts to be overlighted by this white fire. This next second phase would be the embodiment process then. So the embodiment is then the light has to return to the true rightful nature of your I am. Then the I am through your soul starts to descend particle after particle. Now this light has to become an exact physical experience. So it goes into your body, again coiling through every layer of your experience as it comes to the very bottom of everything you perceive yourself to be here in creation, in the most physical sense, when you perceive with every sense, every layer, you know, every perception you've ever had. Now you're going to have an experience of it. Now it's going to become an actual literal physical experience. And a lot of people tell me, everything you've talked about in the course of your videos and I'm watching for years, now I'm finally getting it because now I'm living it. This is the second process. The third process is this integration takes place, and the quelling serpents now, the descension and ascension light merge together as one, and you get a divine triangulation, the Trinity aspect, which is then the quelling serpents become the two. This is your integrated masculine feminine essence in creation. So the polarized union starts to rise up within you, and this twin soul, this twin flame, sometimes people call it, it's basically this inner balancing of the polarities, the yin and yang essence, when it roots down into the essence of your creation self now in experience, not just up here but in experience, because we already are enlightened. Our soul already knows, it has the knowledge to everything, but because we don't always know this and we're not consciously aware of it, we seek this knowledge. We seek it outside of us. We seek for answers, we seek for completions, we seek for understanding, and a lot of times it's analytical rather than experiential. Here you're starting to see now, when you're in the root of your experience, that your soul already has all the knowledge. And if something that it's not for you to know in this moment, it simply means it's not necessary for you. It's not that you don't know, but your source always fills you up with what you need for your unique experience, how you are ascending in a unique way. The white light is unified, but we are still moving within uniqueness through this experience. That's why a lot of us who are here as guides, we can share about this, the dynamics of ascension, but we can't really tell everyone how it's going to be for their own soul agreements, for their own life path, and the choices they're making as they go through this processing. So as this light now starts to merge, joint quelling serpents back up, it's going to create this integration, but it's going to now this time be lifted off, and this process is going to be called the overlighting. And as this again goes, this time through complete merge through all your system, it creates this white light, the pillar, the column of white light, which was also known as in many ancient teachings that, you know, the ancient sages or saints and masters, they had this overlighting halo above their head. So this is the third triangulation process. I go more in depth in my Ascension self-mastery course. So these courses were designed, there are 7 of them, the 7 basic ones, and the last one is the 8th level, which is the group soul consciousness embracing and the service and divine partnerships, when we start to more conglomerate together in greater fractions of who we are, in greater merging of our process. So our ascension's kind of coming together as in one ascending process within the greater whole. So if you're guided to that, you know where to find that. It's always on my page. But I want to talk also about what this means for your perceptions on terms of chakric systems. This old chakric system, which was not wrong, it was designed and it was true for that part where we were, you know, before we started fully remembering who we are. So we had the basic understanding of these 7 basic chakras, but this was still based on separation consciousness, because here each chakra was perceived as separate. So it dealt with a separate life area. You know, the first chakra means that, the second this, and the third, and so on and so forth. So as you come to the 7, goes beyond a head, and this is all you know, it's not really where the story ends. As you start to ascend and remember and go deeper into your ascension, you will see that there's a lot more to it. So go again back to what I, shared with you on this threefolded process, this threefolded journey of ascension in your physical form. It's your physical experience that's now becoming ascended. I talk about this non-stop because people believe ascension is something you go somewhere, you have an alternate reality. We've all already been throughout many different incarnations, star systems, whatnot. But this earth ascension is almost like this, this going to the very root and making all of our multidimensional experience ascended. And this is when then the whole, also like the zipper concept I mentioned to you, becomes ascended as well. So the greater group also ascends. And this is a timeline that is undefined. It's not like linear. It's not something anything we put a timetable on it. It's an infinite creation processing experience that we perceive as, it's not linear. It's happening even though sometimes we feel we don't have physical evidence to what's happening, but we feel it. So this 7 base chakra system was still the template was on this fragmented. So we had each chakra is separate, and a lot of people then talk about these healing sessions and techniques that are based on chakras specifically, but then maybe a bit of merging them and so on and so forth. The true nature is that when the white light starts to work with you, and this is a soul agreement, this is a soul choice, it's not limited to anyone special. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to have a particular technique. This will cost a lot of people lots of money once people start to awaken that they don't need a specific technique to be there, to fit in a particular ascending group. You don't have to be spiritual or molded into this spiritual clay model about something. This is an organic thing. This is so natural to us. This is what our soul already knows. And that's why a lot of people now are having these spontaneous healings. They're basically just the returns to their true home, to the nature of who they are. And a lot of people are going to start to experience this because they're going to become aware that ascension is their birthright. All they have to do is choose it, get ready for it, prepare the physical body, and then follow through that preparation to embody it. So it's all about embodiment. What is this white light? It's basically the infinite nature of who we are without any of those limited beliefs, perception. It's almost like we're streaming up again. And I've shared this once with you. This the nature gave me this analogy with the waterfall. It's almost like all the rainbow pieces, everything that we were, that we are in so many levels, is getting gathered again. And that's why I always use this almost like the waterfall analogy for the white column of light, the white ascending light, the pillar of light. I've heard people talk, recently I've heard someone talk about that all this light particles in our chakras are starting to merge, and different bits of different chakras are, streaming up and down and kind of enmashing themselves and kind of intermingling. This chakra says, hey, what's up? I'm coming here to reach you here and up there. And it's because this is a part of this process. So imagine like these particles are now starting to interact, because they're free. You no longer keep them separate in terms of this is this chakra, I'm working with this chakra, so this is supposed to represent this. You're allowing the flow of white light to assimilate and these particles to move and flow, okay? So what this creates and happening is there's going to be a merge, there's going to be a conglomerate, all these. You'll feel more rainbow in energy. You will feel like more free. You won't attribute a certain color to just a certain experience. It will be a different thing in a different timeline, in a particular specific experience in that moment. And as you will allow this to happen, you will allow the white light to give you everything you need in each moment. So basically the white light is always there, but we have had immense upgrades just recently. I've had an enormous upgrade. I couldn't sleep for 2 nights because I had these surges of energy, and I was like, oh, I couldn't sleep. It was so much processing, and the body sometimes has hardship with how to integrate that, how to process it. A lot of the multidimensional parts of us that are already more advanced in that term, they don't always understand how it is for our physical bodies. And as we're going through these processes, we're changing. Just recently, someone shared with me that they see in my latest videos how much I've changed during this passageway. And I'm still changing, and I'm always changing. And if I look at my videos a few years back, I can no longer recognize myself. I mean, I still have these videos on YouTube, but it feels like they're funny to me. I'm like, where's me there? I mean, it's just tiny, tiny seed of me that's growing and emerging more and more, the more white light that I embody. So with this, there's also someone shared with me just recently that when they watch my videos, they feel like I'm fading in and out as my frequency is changing, and it's very sweet of you to say thank you. And I was laughing at that because what this means is a lot of people are also integrating their perceptions. It's not just that our healing abilities are gonna, be propelled to a greater degree, because they will. We will have greater abilities. When I had this latest surge, my mom put her hands on my crown because there was so much coming through. I asked her, I felt I needed her energy to help me hold the energy. It was almost like the two of us were needed at that time. There was so much coming through, and she said, wow, I never felt such more powerful energy than now. It's like huge changes, and I felt it, like huge energy changes. But, a lot of people say ascension is hard, this energy is hard, the energy is difficult, the energy itself is neutral, but our physical bodies how they were used in this evolution. They were not used to such capacity of light. They were not used to have such abilities. They were not used to so much love. But we're slowly getting adapted and used to all of this. So the white light, I want to talk more about this as it's starting to merge, and you're going to perceive yourself as just this, the force, the vehicle for this white light. A lot of people are going to have, I had people that shared with me that they're doing these healings and utilizing this white light. Recently, someone was a bit of, I think, shy to share this with me because, you know, I don't do sessions and things like that. I'm not against anything, but I want to advise all of you who are healers, whatever you call yourself in your profession, but that you use this white light. Please, when you do any kind of healing on another, provide them also with a knowing, understanding, or exercises and how they can do that themselves. Because each human is the sovereign that, as you show them, you're just basically the facilitator, you just hold the space. But also, when you do that, it means you're also practicing. So you're mastering how to work with the white light yourself. So basically, it's for you. It is for you, and yet for the other, they will benefit, and especially by you showing them. So our role as sovereigns who are already in the white light, who are here embodying it, is also to show others that it's not complex, it's not difficult, it's not just reserved for some. It's for anyone who chooses, who's ready, and who then wants to embody their readiness. So a part of these changes is, recently they've been so massive. Well, all I can say is how it's been for me, but it creates within me more devotion to serve. It's like I get more and more, and it's basically the deepening, you know, and now it's becoming the actual experience. A lot of things I've been talking about maybe years ago, now I also feel like, wow, no, they're really happening. And people who call this the light body merge, they talk about, you know, the Merkaba vehicle that's created when the opposing polarities really conjoin in perfect balance. So you have the V and the opposing V-shaped polarity, so it creates a diamond structure. So you can imagine when you do exercises, light exercises, the column of white light, and then how within your sacred cosmic heart center you feel like you're enmeshed, you're encased in this beautiful white, almost like a platinum diamond, which is the merge of your light body. It's the return of your light body, which will then slowly start to merge naturally with your physical body. So this is a natural process. It's something you change. You know, I'm gonna change my DNA by listening to this activation CD or whatever. This is such an organic process that you as a human don't have any control over. You have the choice to align with it. But your soul knows how many codes, what codes, how it's being restructured, how you're being assimilated in this white light. This is completely from the wisdom of your soul. I'm very cold right now because I've had my run, and basically it's -degrees right now outside. We have very dry but cold winter, so I don't know how much long I can take in this video, probably not so long. But I also want to say something about, you know, how to work with the white light, because many people who are now initiated into it feel like there's something special, like almost like, what am I supposed to do now? And recently I've had a question by someone, and a lot of you who have maybe been taking my courses on the galactic signature have been sending me some questions, because there's also a specific focus on the life force and how it is uniquely shown for you, how you are translating it and utilizing it in your soul uniqueness. And it can be, some of the things can be visible in your chart. But I need to specify here that there's a difference between analyzing yourself and allowing the knowledge to come to you, because true knowledge is not something that, you know, it's the mental understanding. It's really the wisdom of your soul that's going to be carried through these light particles as you're merging with your light body. It's coming very natural for you. So what I've seen is there's still a lot of beliefs. So there's a difference between, you know, looking at your chart and believing that's all you are. And sometimes people, especially because in astrology, there's a lot of talking about, you know, where you in your natal chart, you can have blockages or certain fated things in your life. That's very old. You know, you are infinite. You're an infinite life force. Your chart is not where you begin and you end. It's a basic template that can show you some of the things that in your uniqueness you've come here to utilize and how you can serve. But it's not all of you. You're beyond that. You can transcend it. But it does serve for those of you who are very much interested in this and to know how to work with your life force, but not in a way to seek it in terms of how is my chart showing me my life force. The life force is not just a certain aspect in your natal chart, or it's not just specific reference point or something you believe. Some people say I'm blocked, or I don't know how to utilize it. Yes, you do. You already do. Maybe you're not fully in conscious awareness, but the more you start to work with the white light, it will show you. And I've seen the only reason why this working with the white light of unity consciousness of your white ascension pillar, the core creation pillar, sometimes it's difficult for people. It's because they have perceptions, they have beliefs about what life force truly is. First of all, the belief can be that life force is how much you do, how much productive you are, how much energy you have. Life force can, of course, be felt as energy, but life force, in truth, it's presence that will always go where it needs to go. It's like spirit is in control, it's not you. It's that wise discernment of just that pure flow, and you need to be at perfect place at a perfect timing and getting so much more done with less effort. And we're already seeing that. I'm seeing this in myself this year. And the more that you allow this life force to lead you, the less you're working with the concept of I'm getting everything done by myself. A lot of light workers specifically had this perception that it's hard. They've had many lifetimes, for example, and they're still making assumptions based to these old lifetimes. While in your ascension lifetime, everything's going to change. Your whole reality will change, and you will have to apply your reality to a completely different system, which is not even a system. It's like the absolute truth of your true infinite freedom state of your liberation as being of pure divine love and in unity consciousness. So first thing, get really clear. I have a beautiful course on sacred sexuality and soul alchemy, which really gets to the depth of asking you what's really tantra, what's really your life force, how do you cultivate it, how do you perceive it, because you need to get to the bottom of what you believe this is, because we need to disentangle these beliefs so we can truly be in the liberation of what it truly is. What is life force? And that's why I share these spirit messages on my page. They're on Serapina Light page. One still has to come this month. Hasn't come yet, but I already was shown what it's going to be about. And these messages are pure spirit flow of this basic truth. These are not messages in terms of channelings, because in truth, when we work with the white light, we work with our own I am presence. That means our own higher self, our own mastery. There's nothing outside of us we're gonna be focusing on. We are drawing all of that. We're drawing this forth together. But there are some basic things that you yourself can utilize to stimulate the greater flow of creative life force, which is basically for everyone is creativity. But we need to find something that our soul calls us that is very unique for us as well, because for each one will be different. So how we translate the life force is unique. But what life force is, sometimes I call it just spirit or Holy Spirit or white light, whatever you call it, it's basically our purest essence before all the other essences were developed. That's why I call it the core creation pillar. And as you kind of feel like all these things and experiences that you needed, and a lot of that came from separation that you feel were still needed and you needed to experience and all that, at a certain point you will feel, wow, and I'm just gathering them together. And this is where you will feel the ascending lifetime for you will be the gathering of all you've already had, shared, experienced, got to know about, and it will be like this awesome merging, and all these rainbow particles within you will start to amplify. And I advise you to do this simple exercise, and I think this will come through in my spirit message for this month. That's still yet to come. Once it does, it will be shared, as always, on my Facebook page, the newsletter, all of it. But stay updated, of course, on my webpage as well, for those of you who really love this work that I do in devotion to the white light of unity. And this merging is just simple encasement when you sit with your body, in your light body, in this beautiful diamond-shaped vehicle, which is basically within the white column of pure white light. And it's very simple. So instead of just asking yourself mentally or researching yourself mentally, part of it really does include our conscious exercise with it, because our bodies need to get used to it. And when we have those surges of light, a lot of energy streams through. And this is the last thing I want to talk about. It's very important. When we have these immense upgrades, there's so much energy surging through. And I'm going to share an experience we had just last night, which was my mother suddenly started to complain that she has a toothache. All of a sudden, this tooth never hurt. And all of a sudden I said, okay, do you want me to put hands on you? She said, oh, okay. But basically I don't use this for me giving the energy or the healing. When I do this, I connect with the white light. The white light tells me basically what's the thing, what's the core of the situation, what's really happening behind the scenes. So I asked her which tooth. She said the third one. She has a prosthetics, and a lot of these prosthetics, as you know, they have lots of metals in them. They're very metallic. Metals have their own energy fields. So when she said that, that's actually the tooth where the whole thing grips on her teeth when she puts it on. And I said, you always have it on? And she said, yeah, always, even at night. And I said, put it off. I placed my hands for a while. And then what I was shown is that the energy then, when we have these immense surges of light, it's very appropriate for us to either be outside in nature, to be free of all metallic things, all objects, to be as natural as it can. Because at that point, a lot of energy is streaming forth our bodies, and when there's something that causes these disruptions, there's too much energy that's being drawn there. It's like metals, you know, they were even used as gatherers of energy. So when too much energy gathers and culminates only one point, it can create it's like overbearing of that energy. It's too much, so it can create pains or difficulties and all of that. So the symptoms themselves, or the white light, is not, people say ascension is hard, ascension is pain, because they have these symptoms. These are reactions to things that are going away, that are dissolving, that are disintegrating, or showing you what either your how you feed yourself is not appropriate, or like I've said, these things, or how you treat your body is not appropriate. So that's where the only causes the pain can stem from. And then I also was shown that salt is very good, because salt is not just, you know, when you take a salt bath, it's not just that you detoxify yourself. Salt has a neutralization effect. So if there's anything around your field that was clogged, when you take a bath, you're actually stabilizing your body again. So each time these, oh, so cold, each time these waves of energy come, basically you are helping your body to neutralize. So maybe if it's something in your teeth or whatever, you can even, you know, rinse your mouth cavity with salt water, Himalayan salt, pink salt, anything like that. Also, bathing in bodies of water, preferably natural, but if you don't have that option, in your bath. So yeah, things like that. It's very important for us to, when we work with the white light, see and follow it through where there's certain blockages, what's happening in our body, to tune in and allow the white light to show us. So very important, when you feel these upgrades, try to stay as natural as you can. If you can, I can't do it now because we have all this frozen snow and so cold, so I have to wear my running shoes and other different shoes. But if you have that capacity, when we have these immense light surges, because they're happening in waves, because we're getting adjusted to this in waves, of course. When a wave comes, we will know it. I always feel it. For me, it's intense, and it's like so much fire comes in my body. I start to shake. Sometimes the shaking creates a feeling of being a little sick, but it's only temporary for maybe a few hours, or it depends, you know. Sometimes it's the whole night. Really depends. But you know, it's very good to be with nature in terms of standing on nature barefoot. So again, the energy can ground itself, can flow through you very easily. So the heaven, the sky, you know, there's this beautiful flow. You can even do, you know, there's this Tai Chi exercise when you're doing like this. Probably heard of this exercise, when you're basically just feeling the flow of the energy going up and going down, and then you feel being spiraled in that energy as well. There's so many exercises, guys. There's so many ways. It's just we have to stop being lazy. We have to stop waiting for something to happen on the outside, not working with our bodies and our own consciousness. But that's it for today. I'm going to have another video following right after this video, which will focus on everything that's actually dissolving and disintegrating as we're moving into unity. So everything that still keeps us separate, that still can keep us separate, if we don't have an awareness to move beyond it, which is basically a revamping of the whole experience of everything we've ever been going through in this ascending reality for us. So that's going to be a beautiful bonus, and it's going to be a longer video. So as you can see, some of them that I do now are indoors, recorded indoors, because it's too cold and I can't get sick. So thank you for staying tuned in and for supporting, donating, sharing feedback. If you ask me questions, please know that I can't always reply to each of you personally, because it takes so much time. So I'm going to take everything you want to know about and put it in these videos and share, so that most people can see it as freely as possible. I like to do this in a group based way. It's always how the white light guides me, and I trust my source of white light. I suggest the same to you. I honor you, I support your path, I respect your path. I will talk to you soon. Stay updated for that second part of the video, and I love you all so much. Within grace, the beauty of the Almighty, love, wisdom, and power, and bye-bye for now. Ooh, bye.
Come into my world, the world of the elven song, magical.